Okay. This open meeting of the Town of Nantucket Scholarship Committee on July 14th, 2020 is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth, given the outbreak of the novel coronavirus. The order, which you can find posted on the town's website, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting is convened by Zoom, as posted on the meeting agenda identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other participants may be able to see you and that you take care not to share your screen of your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials have been provided to members of this body and are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. I, the chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage with other members in discussion, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call. First, I will identify each member, and if you could unmute yourself to identify that you can hear me. Lise Saperstein.
Yes, I'm here.
Jean Miller.
I'm here.
Maggie Detmer.
I'm here.
Leslie Forbes.
I'm here.
Beth Hallett.
Here.
Perfect. So our meeting has officially been called, and thank you all for joining via Zoom. So for this meeting, we'll go through the agenda, a quick update to everyone who's been on the committee before, and then also just an update for Beth. We typically discuss things like GPA and transcripts, and that Lee had a conversation with town council yesterday, and that is confidential information. So for our meeting next Thursday, we'll have an executive session. So in today's discussion, we can discuss things like how much money we want to afford and the people. We can still rank the applicants, but if we want to discuss things like a GPA or information about learning disabilities or health or anything else that's in the application, then you should hold those comments until next Thursday.
Christy, thank you. This is Lee, and I've got a quick question. You talk about a meeting next Thursday. Will we have some facility by which you can share screens so we can be looking either at applications or spreadsheets or any sort of paperwork? I'm a novice at it. I know something about share screen, but with it coming up on Thursday, maybe we can get a little bit of help and then roll forward smoothly.
Yes, so I could share the applications on my screen next week.
Great.
Leslie?
I emailed you earlier today about the minutes from the July 26, 2019 meeting. I don't have in my records that they were approved. And okay. I couldn't find them on the town website. However, I do have them right here.
I'll put that on the agenda for next Thursday as well. We can approve tonight's meeting if they're ready in last year's. We don't put the minutes online. Last year when we tried posting them, they hadn't previously done that. But I think we just keep record of them within our committee.
All right. And am I taking minutes at this meeting?
So that's the first thing on the agenda is to nominate and vote on officers for 2020.
Okay.
So I'll open that up for nominations for chair and clerk.
Oh dear, Christie, you have opened yourself up. One of us, maybe me, will move that we renew our chair for the next year.
She does not want to be chair next year. She's done her duty. I wish Jana was on because I think Jana would be a very good chair. But I don't know that we can nominate her as chair without her being here to fight against it or whatever you want to say. I've been chair. Christy's been chair. There's 5 other members of the committee that I think someone needs to step up and take on chairmanship.
We could also
Okay.
put this on move it down the agenda for when Jana is able to join us.
What time did she say she'd be on?
She just said she'd be running late, so hopefully maybe in the next 10, 15 minutes.
I will be clerk again. I was clerk last year. So I'm nominating myself for that. Maybe that's not legal.
Happy to second, Leslie, happy to second.
Okay, so we could vote on the clerk and then come back to the chair when we have Jana join us.
Do that.
So by roll call vote. Lee?
I don't notice anyone else jumping up to be the chair. Maggie.
No, I certainly couldn't speak to my availability this time next year. So
That's true.
I know what my limitations are in June and July.
I know we wish this happened in February. We'd all have a lot more time.
All right, so by roll call vote, Lee Saperstein.
This is for
For
clerk,
Leslie. to
Leslie
be-
Forbes is clerk. I vote aye.
Jean Miller,
Aye.
Maggie Detmer,
Aye.
Beth Hallett,
Aye.
Leslie Forbes,
I
and Christy Ferrantella, aye. That passes unanimously. And the next thing on the agenda is to determine the amount of funds to offer for scholarship in 2020. Because town offices have been closed and working remotely, I have not been able to get an updated number for this year. But because we had such great minutes from last year, I have the amount that we had last year and the amount we gave away. So at the end of 2019, on June 30th of 2019, so last year we started out with $152,473.97. And we gave away $43,000 in scholarships. So that left us with $109,473.97. That's the best estimate that I could have right now. Of course, if we receive donations and other things, we could have more money, but that's kind of the lowest, best estimate for this year. And for the Curley scholarship, which is the sophomore scholarship we give out, last year we had $28,898.33. We gave out one $2,000 scholarship. So we have a remaining balance of $26,898.33. So my suggestion would be for us to use these estimates and decide roughly how much we want to give out this year. And then hopefully by the meeting next week, I could have a better firmed up estimate from the finance department.
agreed. Makes sense.
Okay.
Well,
And
I think I'm going to suggest that we keep Curley at 2,000. That's the easy one. That's an easy decision. And then as far as the scholarship, the town scholarship, let's see, last year was a total of 43,000. I would think we could at least do that again, that the money will have increased a bit. And we did get some donations last year of, I can't remember how much it was.
Christie, question. This is Lee.
Mhm.
I hear you, 43,000, 49 applicants. Can you remind us whether we used basically the same number for each applicant, or did we vary the amount by the class in which they're participating, or undergraduate versus graduate? I think we have maybe 2 applicants who are going to community colleges for technical studies. Is that different from a 4-year college? I'm making no suggestions at this point, except for the near match between 43 and 49, and looking for guidance.
So each year we have varied a little bit. Some years we did a different amount kind of based on the applicant, and as low as $500 to upwards of $2,000. This past year, what we did was $2,000 for sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and then $1,000 for the applicants that were either post-grad or freshmen. In previous years, we also have typically not given awarded freshman scholarships because they receive so much community support, and we really want to help the sophomores through seniors and post-grad who don't receive as much support from the community. So we typically do freshmen if there's a unique circumstance where they didn't receive other support, or there was some other compelling reason to give a freshman a scholarship.
Second question, were you able to find that newspaper page?
Yes.
Great.
So yes, I wrote down how much everybody received last night.
Thank you.
Hi, Jana.
Hi, Jana.
Maggie, the dog has a mute button.
I'd like to mute the dog in a big way. What can I tell you?
So is everybody comfortable with starting out with an estimate of doing 43,000 in scholarships again this year?
This is Lee.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Just because we're doing remote participation, I'll do a roll call vote on that. Is there a motion to start off with $43,000 to award this year for FY20?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Seconded by Beth. By roll call vote, Lee Saperstein,
Yes, aye.
Jean Miller,
Yes.
Maggie Detmer,
Yes.
Beth Hallett,
Yes.
Leslie Forbes,
Yes.
Jana Duarte,
Yes.
and Christy Ferrantella, aye. So that is voted unanimously. We're going to go back the one agenda item because Jana has now joined us. We were nominating and voting officers for 2020.
Thank you for not voting me in on something when I wasn't here.
And so Leslie has offered and been voted to be clerk, and we're looking for a chair.
And you were waiting for me?
Yeah. Jana, I would love to nominate you to be chair. What do you think?
I'd love to second that nomination.
So kind. Now remember, I'm gonna have to abstain for now 2 classes this year because of my son and my nephew. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh, I think that's okay. Jeanette was chair for years when she had grandchildren coming up, and
True. Okay.
Do
Okay.
you have to refrain from the whole class or just from that one application?
From the vote, I thought.
Yeah, just for their applications.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the whole
Oh,
class.
no, okay, that's,
Okay, so that was a motion made by Jean and seconded by Maggie for Janet to be the chair. By roll call vote, Lee Saperstein,
Votes aye.
Jean Miller,
aye.
Maggie Detmer,
Aye.
Beth Hallett,
Aye.
Leslie Forbes,
Aye.
Jenna Duarte,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella, aye.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
So I can officially hand the meeting over to you, Jana,
Oh, next time.
for the next meeting. I'm happy to keep this going. I have everything open on my computer.
Thank you.
And
Christy, did you want to review for Jenna what you decided we needed to do this week and then in executive session next week?
yes, thank you for that reminder. So since this is our first time meeting remotely, Lee had a discussion with town council about the applicants and what we review and what we feel is confidential. And so town council agreed that we can discuss how much money that we want to award this year. But things in terms of somebody's GPA or personal information like a learning disability or health information, that all should be discussed in a executive session. So for our meeting next Thursday, the 23rd, I think it is, that meeting will be posted correctly. Yes, the 23rd, for us to have those discussions and be able to share the screen and share applications. And so for right now, for today's discussion, we can still kind of rank the applicants and discuss how much we want to award, but things that if you're going to award somebody because of a GPA, just leave that sentence out, or we could hold that conversation to next Thursday.
Can I
Okay.
just ask a question as far as, I didn't do a comparison of applicants from last year to this year? Do you know?
I did. I think, Chair, may I have a conversation? What I did is I looked at who we gave money to last year and who has come back this year, because remember, we've always been so thoughtful about spending the town's money wisely. And it was very impressive, I thought, that for the kids who were the rising freshmen, we gave 3 scholarships, and all 3 of them have applied now as sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
For the kids last year who were rising sophomores, we gave 7, and 5 of them have reapplied as now juniors, which again is a good thing, I think. And then for the kids who were rising juniors last year, we gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 5 of them have reapplied this year.
That's great.
This is all good news because it means they're still in school. They did not have a disruption. And so we chose kids who were, where we helped them really continue with their education. For the seniors, the kids who were rising seniors last year, of course, many of them are done, so they would not be applying again. But 2 of them, there were, we gave away 1, 2, 3, we gave away 6, and 2 of them have applied as PGs. So they've continued on with their education. So all in all, we're running between like 80% at the lowest and 100% at the highest for returnees. So I think we did a good job last year. And as we go through our list, I can certainly highlight, let you know who that so-and-so applied last year and received money.
Do we know total applicants comparison? I'm just wondering about the money. If we're budgeting about the same amount of money, are we going to give it to about the same amount of applicants?
It's 47 last year.
47.
Yep.
And this year,
57 this year.
and how many this year? 50?
49.
58. So we've got 10 more kids, 11 more kids this year, 11 more applicants. They're not all children.
How did we get to 58? I thought I saw 49 applications.
58.
58.
Yep.
On my spreadsheet.
Then I need 11 more applications to read.
Okay, well, you're going to have time between now and next week.
Thank
Did
you.
anyone have trouble printing it, the format of the spreadsheet? I could only print the first 3 pages.
Oh,
I
I found that I
actually
had to open it.
changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a Excel son at home, so he helped me do it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, I struggled for a good half hour, Jenna, before I finally figured it out. I had to change the settings, the print settings in Excel
Okay.
to print the entire selection instead of the workbook.
But you could see it on the when you opened it.
Yeah.
I had the same problem. Okay. I rushed. Sorry. As you can tell, I didn't change that. It still says 2019, which is wrong. So
That's okay.
sorry.
No, I think it's fine. It's great, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Jane, do you have
Christy,
a
can I
question?
ask you a question?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that maybe we can have a general conversation about these scholarship applications in general. I was so surprised that so few of these students mentioned a disruption in their education because of COVID.
Mhm.
Very few talked about how their spring semester was interrupted, or their senior year of high school, or the potential for not being able to start school in the fall. And I don't know if anyone else was surprised by that.
I was.
I was really surprised by it, and I felt like maybe some of those pieces had been written earlier for their applications for other things, other scholarships, or even their college applications. And the ones that did mention it, they seem pretty calm about the whole thing. I mean, I didn't get a real sense of panic for these kids by any means. So,
Yeah. Leslie?
I have another general comment to make, and that when I first started reading these applications, which was maybe 6 years ago, boy, the letters and the grades the letters were very unfocused. I want to go to a nice school with nice people that has nice weather. I mean, there really wasn't much thought into why they were going and why they chose this particular school. And then the transcripts, to find a kid with a 4.41 GPA was unusual. Now, I'm not talking about a particular child, but the GPAs are all sky high. And the letters, I thought so many of them were well reasoned. They may not end up being XYZ, whatever it is they said they were going to be. I have no problem with that. But they are, at least in the spring of their senior year, they are so thoughtful about what they want to do next and why. And it's grounded in experiences that they've had, lessons that they've learned. The change was just remarkable to me over the past 6 years. And I wish Michael Cozart were here, because I think he and other people at the school deserve a round of applause for that change.
So can I comment?
Mhm.
I had the opportunity to read way more of the this senior year's applicants for both at work and other scholarship committees that I'm on. This class was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. The amount of kids that had, highly graded GPAs and going to really great schools. And I thought, oh, I would hate to have been on that golf club committee, because the options were they all deserved it. It was amazing. So I did send a personal letter to Mike thanking him and congratulating him for graduating with a class so special himself. So this was a pretty dynamite class, Jenna. Boy, Nikki, Darian, that's a tough class to be in.
Yeah.
Smart kids.
Smart kids.
Definitely. It makes our job a little difficult, but it's always fun to give away money. So with that, the first thing on our agenda is to discuss and decide on the recipient of the Thomas F. Curley Scholarship. So I am going to actually share my screen so you guys can see how it goes. So this is an annual scholarship that's offered to a college sophomore through the generosity of Thomas and Margaret Curley. The recipients must be graduates of Nantucket High School, having attended all 4 years at this school, entering the second year of a technical school or 4-year college. Preference will be given to a person born on Nantucket, and need is to be considered an important factor. Recipients will be selected by the Town Scholarship Committee. So every year we start with this scholarship. It's a $2,000 scholarship that again is awarded to a sophomore. And so this one, I'm sorry, what was that, Leslie?
A rising sophomore.
Yes. So with the shared screen, I can't see everybody if you're raising your hand. So I can either unshare my screen if you guys feel like you know what we're looking for, or
So you, Christy, you can actually stretch out your screen so you can see everybody. I learned this today. So if you just, in another Zoom meeting, if you take kind of the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little
perfect.
zigzag and you just stretch out and then you can see everybody.
And you guys can still see.
Well, that's just your screen.
Okay.
So what you're seeing is just your screen. That anybody can do that actually. So I'm a little, Chrissy, can I ask a question? I'm a little confused as far as we're allowed to mention names, but we're not allowed to mention GPAs or any extenuating circumstances, sort of.
This is Lee. I think we're a little different this year. And it was the realization that the recording might show up on YouTube. So we could be talking to the world.
Right. So I'm nervous about saying names in that case.
Yeah, I agree.
And I certainly don't want to do any ranking.
It's a little weird.
So
Would this defer well to an early agenda item next Thursday?
you could do that.
I think in looking at the applications, I don't think it's going to be a huge discussion.
We have 12 rising sophomores.
Yep.
Especially if we're looking or considering technical school.
So how does everybody feel? Do you want to discuss this scholarship, or would you like to wait until next week?
Christy, I'd just like to clarify. I know we've had this conversation a bunch of times about Curley. I know that it specifies technical school or 4-year college. And we have historically not discriminated between one or the other. But do you get the sense that really the spirit of the scholarship is more towards a technical school? I mean, I always wonder whether that's what we should be thinking about. What were they thinking when they set this up in the first place?
That's the feeling that I've gotten, is that it's meant for a technical school. And if that criteria isn't met, then we look at the 4-year college. So, when I looked through the applicants, that's what I was looking for, is somebody in a technical school. Last year, we did Diego Echeverria. He's a rising junior. And I just wanted to check. He's at Roger Williams University studying architecture. So it was still a 4-year college, but in a technical degree.
Right.
This is Lee. I'm feeling a little nervous when I discovered that there's 58 applications and I've only read 49. Somebody else, there are 12 sophomores, and I'm just not moving fast enough between my spreadsheet and the Zoom to count them all up. And so I'd like to be able to do some homework before Thursday.
Okay.
But by the way, this conversation is very helpful.
Okay. So So we can table this discussion for next Thursday as well.
Certainly, because you can't go too much further without bringing up names.
You need a
Well,
motion?
We can bring up names, and we can talk about, if they received a scholarship last year. The only things that we couldn't discuss were the GPAs.
I know we can bring up names, but I don't feel comfortable bringing up names given that I have no control over who's listening.
Okay.
That's my particular feeling. So.
So next week we're not going to be taped for YouTube. It'll be executive session and we'll be quiet.
So we have to do we can do the discussions and deliberations in executive session, and then when we designate the recipients and the amount of money, that has to be an open session.
Sounds like it's going to be a long meeting.
Sounds like it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to think. What can we do right now that's comfortable in an open session? We can talk about whether after reading the applications this year, are we comfortable with that decision of giving postgrads money? We seem to go back and forth on that on different years. I'm the one that is a big proponent of giving postgrads money, but in looking at the names this year, a lot of these people we've been supporting for 2 or 3 years. So it might be time to not support the same group.
I had a problem with some of the postgrads as well, because I feel like they were it seemed like quite a few of them were channeled in through the hospital. And I'm not even really sure if they meet the qualifications for a town scholarship, our basic qualifications. And the other thing I was thinking we could possibly do is go through the spreadsheet. There are some of these applicants who, as far as I can tell, did not meet the criterion at all. We could go through the spreadsheet by number and not name and cross out those that don't fit, whether they didn't have their application together or they seemingly don't actually need money. Rather than discuss them by name, we could just discuss them by number on the spreadsheet.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Is there a motion to table the Curley scholarship until next week?
So
I had
moved.
a question or an idea before we do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with doing that also, but I just didn't know if maybe, I don't know what's better. We could nominate a few of them to discuss if we're going to get into a longer meeting next time, or I'm fine with the motion too. Again, I don't think that this particular, the criteria and our applicants, I don't think it's going to be a lengthy discussion.
Donna, I agree. On the notion that there's 12 sophomores and that we might be directing to those sophomores either at a 2-year college or a 4-year college with some essence of a technical degree, I bet we would reduce that to 3 or 4 very quickly.
So we could discuss them by number.
Yeah.
In an executive session, we could do it by name.
Okay, so then let's move forward the motion for tabling it till executive session.
So you don't want to nominate a few.
So do you want me to amend the motion to have it be to table discussion for the Curley Scholarship until the next meeting, but to use today's meeting to nominate individuals by number? You like that one?
If I had all 58, Leslie, I'd be on your side.
Oh, but you don't have 12 sophomores in your bag of tricks.
I'm just looking. I have numbers 17 through 26. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10. And of course, without a full 58, my numbers may be different from your numbers.
Yeah, your list is different. My sophomores start at number 43.
Me too.
So Chrissy, how did I miss out on these additional applications?
So this was the spreadsheet that Jana put together this past weekend that had every application in there.
Oh, Jana, I've been building my own spreadsheet by adding each individual application to it.
And do
So
you have the 2020 applicants, Lee? You're sure you're doing the 2020 town applications?
I have whatever Christy sent me.
From the Dropbox.
Yes,
The applications, yeah.
yes.
Well, Jenna put together.
But by the way, without specifying either name or number, I see a BS in marine engineering. I see a BS in forensic science with molecular biology. I see BS in maritime transportation and medical lab science. And then a 2-year degree at New England Institute of Technology. No, those are the ones I see with a technical degree in my 10. Yes, and the answer is I was picking them out of the Dropbox.
Yes. And I think that covers, as you just read that list, that's the same technical applicants I had as well.
So they were alphabetized in the Dropbox, and then they were sorted by school year in the Excel sheet, which did it alphabetically.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yes. No,
So I think we move forward with the motion to table it till next week.
all right.
Okay, so
We need a
that was
second.
moved by Leslie, seconded by Jana.
Sure. Second.
Okay, by roll call vote, Lee Saperstein,
Aye.
Jean Miller,
Aye.
Maggie Detmer,
Aye.
Beth Hallett,
Aye.
Leslie Forbes,
Aye.
Jana Duarte,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella, aye. That it passes unanimously. So we can discuss other applicants or again, general discussion. I want to be mindful of everyone's time if we feel like a lot of this needs to wait. Leslie?
Last year we talked about process. Maybe we can just confirm that we want to do the same thing where our last priority might be freshmen, and that more of our money would go to upperclassmen. Another idea is to continue giving money to people who've come back to us a second time. Even the people we don't give money to receive a letter that says, just because we didn't give you any money this year, please don't forget us next year as well.
Mhm.
So we do have some people. So we have a fair number of people who applied last year and received money, and we have a fair number of people who applied last year and did not receive money. So would we want to give them some sort of priority? I'm just putting questions. I'm not saying we should do it this way or we should not do it this way. Just something to think about.
Jean?
You just reminded me about the newspaper and the seniors. Maybe this is a good time to go over who got how much money. That's public information, so it's not something that's not public. And then find out if there were any rising freshmen that fell between the cracks that we need to support.
I think that's a good place to start. And I wrote down from the Inquirer Mirror what everybody got and what their need is based on their application. So would that be helpful to go through those?
I think so.
Can we talk about their need? I think their need is confidential.
Very personal. Sure.
I think
Okay.
the amount of money they received from the town, as you said, is in the newspaper, so we're not
I
sharing.
would love to go down the list with what they received, Christy.
Okay. So starting with freshman Celia Almodovar, she received $13,250 in scholarships. Caitlin Bellinger received 2,200. Annalisa Crooks received 9,000. Should I read Darian or do we skip him?
Yeah, you can read it.
Okay, Darian received 8,650. Julia Fisk received 2,500. Sky Flegg received 2,250. Lydia Gillum received 1,000. Matthew Holgate received 2,000. Haley Johnson received 2,000. Rushan Leamy received 3,000. Joelle McViker received 16,700. Caleb Malu received 8,000. Rowan Moore, 2,000. Christopher Murr received $500. Shannon Murr, 2,700. Aiden Roberts, 7,000. Alexander Volans, 10,000. Brianna Wallace, 11,400. Chevelle Williams, 6,900. So every freshman who applied to us received scholarships.
Chrissy, can you just repeat what Caleb Malu? I missed that.
That was 8,000.
Thank you.
And could you repeat Julia Fisk?
That was 2,500.
I think that's wrong. The newspaper I had said she received 7,000.
I actually have a list. I may be able to find it for you.
Was 18.
Julia Fisk,
Yeah.
That would be great.
7,000.
Okay.
So whoever has the list and would send it out, that would be very generous of her.
Beth, are you able to share that or no?
It includes all recipients of scholarships. Is that acceptable?
It is
No,
because it was,
not just those who have applied to town scholarships.
right, but it was published in the newspaper, so I think it's okay.
Okay, I will send.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm assuming that that's what came from guidance?
Yes, it did.
You're right, okay. So that's what gets published.
We want to go through and read sophomores, juniors, seniors, and PG.
Sure. Let me find my sophomores. Okay. I also wrote down if they applied to us last year and if they received money. So I'll just note that as well. Cole Campbell received $500. They applied last year and did not receive any money from us, which again, as Leslie mentioned, that letter does indicate to reapply. Isaac Corbett did not receive any other scholarship. Tejan Francis received 12,400. There's somebody that applied last year and did not receive any money. Zion Gilch received $500. Robert Hickman received 3,000. Again, was a previous year applicant who did not receive money. Richard Moore received no other applications or no other scholarships, and again applied last year and was not a recipient. Stephanie Ryder received 7,600. Marta Saravia received 6,100. She was also one of the few freshmen that we funded last year and reapplied. Grace Shannon received $500 in scholarships. Austin Starr received $1,000 and was a recipient last year to the town scholarship. Maisha Wiggins received $1,000. Camden Willett received $500 and was a recipient of last year's town scholarship. And those are the sophomores.
Wiggins, I have Wiggins as receiving 1,100.
Okay.
What do you have, Beth? Myasia Wiggins.
Sorry, hold on one second. Get down. The computer's screen froze. Hold on.
It happens.
Wiggins. I have the wrong, hold on. I don't actually have
He was the
that
class,
name.
he was the class of 2019.
I may be in the wrong year. Sorry about that. There we go. 1,100.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so let me just find the juniors. So Darian Almodovar, starting with the junior class, received $2,000, and he's been a past recipient 2 years in a row. Henry Blackwell received no other scholarship and was a past recipient of the town scholarship. May Blackwell received no other scholarship and was a past recipient of the town scholarship. Liam Knoll received $5,500 and was a past recipient. Diego Echeverria received $3,000, was a past recipient 2 years in a row. Jadalyn Harold received $2,500 and is a past recipient. Kayla Hudzik received $2,500 and a past recipient. Emily Kitsock received $5,500. Alexander Trudell received $5,000. Tessa Weldon did not receive any other scholarships. She was a past applicant that was not awarded. And that is the juniors. Okay, moving on to seniors.
Alexander Trudell is 5,250, according to the newspaper.
Okay. I think towards the end, I just started doing rounding.
Oh,
Okay, so seniors, we actually had very few seniors apply this year, rising seniors. Liana Harrington received $5,000 and is a past recipient. Isabel Roberts received $12,000 and was a past recipient. Danielle Supernaut received $6,500 and is a past recipient. And Amy Tejada received $3,000 and is a past recipient. And lastly, for post-grad. This is the largest number of postgraduate applicants we've had, at least for the last 3 years. And all of them received funding from another source in some way. So Morgan Coffin received $6,000. Megan Cranston received $14,000 and is a past recipient. Sabin Damala received $9,000. I think that's $9,400.
yeah.
And is a past recipient. Vanimrug Gumpat received $14,000. Lisa Lafarge received $10,400. Was a past applicant that did not receive funding. Sadia Lewis received $8,000, also a past applicant that did not receive funding. Nora McClellan received $1,600 and is somebody that we funded an undergraduate. Leah Newman received $1,000 and is a past recipient. Miranda Van Digstee received $6,000. Joelle Vieira received $10,000. And Ashley Wilson received $13,500 and is a past recipient.
Numbers.
So many of our applicants have received other funding as well.
So I have one, you know, if we're trying to figure this out, I think that those rising seniors, there's so few of them, and we've really helped them other times. I would love to, we want to get them through. We want to have them finish up with a little bit less debt than they're already going to have. So they all are doing pretty well. Some of them very well. I mean, we could, if we wanted to rush things along, make a general statement that we should give all the seniors, these 4 seniors, scholarship.
I'm comfortable with that. Again, they're all people that we've previously supported.
You stay on this committee long enough, you feel like giving them a scholarship. You're like, really? They're still around? Oh my goodness. But with these 4, I would like to make a motion that we give all 4 of these seniors a scholarship and, you know, determine the amount at another date.
I'll second that.
Okay. That was seconded by Jana by roll call vote. Lee Saperstein.
Could you read? Oh, no, we weren't going to do names. I'm looking on my spreadsheet and my cursor is not moving very quickly.
There's only 4 seniors.
So we can
Okay.
read the names. We're not excluding any. So it's Liana.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. 4 seniors. 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 seniors, and I've got reasonable universities. Lee votes aye. Oh, and I'm looking at grade point averages. I got a 3.8, a 2.9, a 3.7, and a 3 something.
Can't do that.
Okay. Yeah, Lee votes yes.
Okay.
Sorry about the delay.
Yes.
Maggie Detmer,
Yes.
Beth Hallett,
Yes.
Leslie Forbes,
Yes.
Jana Duarte,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella, aye. So all 4 seniors will be receiving funding. And that amount will be determined once we know the number of applicants that will be funding.
Can I make another motion?
Sure.
We have 1 applicant for a certificate for not a university or junior university or school, just a certificate for a program that I'd like to recommend we not fund. Does that work?
Yeah, I agree.
Is that a second?
It's a second.
Okay. So to not fund the certificate program, by roll call vote, Lee Saperstein,
Aye.
Jean Miller,
Aye.
Maggie Detmer,
Aye.
Beth Hallett,
Aye.
Leslie Forbes,
Aye.
Jana Duarte,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella, aye. So that passes unanimously. $52 more applications to go.
Well, I one more statement. It won't be, it's not a motion, but I do want to have a discussion. You know, the reason we wanted to know how well the freshmen did was to see if anyone fell through the cracks. And it looks like every single one of them received some sort of funding.
I do feel there was one applicant who took a few gap years, who was considered part of this freshman class that I would like to see funded. So I would hold off on a blanket statement of not funding freshmen.
Okay. And yeah, so as I said, it wasn't a motion. I just thought we should kind of.
But I agree. there was a lot of assistance.
Yeah, in generalities, good topics for today. If we are going to discuss an application, we should move that till Thursday.
Okay.
There are several applicants who have all kinds of key pieces missing in their application. I'd like to vote that we eliminate them from our further deliberation. Applicant number 43 on the spreadsheet and applicant number 46.
Maggie,
Yes.
could you repeat the reason for disqualifying?
They have completely incomplete applications, Lee. We don't have the information that's necessary to make a good decision.
I wrote INC for incomplete on
Yeah,
my spreadsheet.
And we actually, we sort of set a precedent 5 or 6 years ago where we said if they can't get all the pieces together, that's kind of the very first test. And there's a couple of them here that are really missing some key information for us.
Yeah.
And there were some, I don't know if Christy needs to confirm that. I don't know if it was some were scanned like kind of crooked wise. I'm not sure if.
That was my work scanner.
Yeah, no, I don't mean it to be a dig. It just, I didn't know if that was part of some of the missing pieces.
No, the ones that are incomplete were incomplete.
Right. So that's on the spreadsheet, that's the sophomore number 43. Appears to be missing a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a sophomore number 46.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, by roll call vote, Lee Saperstein.
We have a,
This is for the exclusion of the incomplete applications. Lee votes aye.
can I add,
Sorry, Leslie?
sometimes additional information comes in later. Not that we counted all the, I mean, yes, Maggie's right. We've said before, if you can't get it in by the deadline, it doesn't count. So I guess maybe I don't need this question. Okay.
I did have another though. If we're going to check applicant 54 was missing pages from the application.
Really?
Let me double check that quickly. I wrote that down.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I meant to get that to you sooner.
Yeah, they were missing pages. That was not one I necessarily marked as incomplete, but we definitely did not have page 2 of that application.
2, 3, or 4.
Right. 2 through 4, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Hello. Once again, I'm feeling inadequate because of my incomplete count. And I don't know whether there were 58. I've got to go back and look at my files. I don't know whether there were 58 in the Dropbox and I missed some, or whether the Dropbox had 49 and there were 9 additional somewhere else. So maybe Jana and I can compare notes. But when we're starting to count numbers, I know it just doesn't compute. Therefore, I would probably have to abstain.
Okay, I was going to suggest if you want to open Jana's spreadsheet, and then you can look at that line item and then match it with your spreadsheet. Then you can know the applicants. But everything is in Dropbox.
So they're all in Dropbox, then it's my fault, and I've got to go back. I was just going down line by line, and I may have jumped a couple of lines.
Well, find Jenna's spreadsheet for the 2020. It was in the last email that Christy sent us, and open that up.
Yeah, I was adding more information to my spreadsheet, so I didn't have to go back to the applications.
Correct, but this way you at least know who number 43 was.
Is the reason that we can't say the name if we're not talking about specifics so that Lee knows who we're talking about? I mean, we're not talking about GPA or personal information.
The way
I understand. It was, when it was 3 incompletes, I was going to vote aye, and then all of a sudden somebody started talking about another application that might not have been incomplete, but it didn't match all, and that's when I became nervous.
Okay.
So I just checked, and number 54 does have a complete application, so I will rescan that tonight and send that to you.
Thank you.
So I would hold off on excluding that one.
Okay, so then we actually have two incomplete applications that we're talking about. The motion is on the table to exclude them from deliberation.
Maggie, you made that motion. Who seconded?
I don't think, was there one?
Yeah, Jean did. I did.
Well, is that going to limit to us to if there are others that we come across that are incomplete? If we're specifically eliminating those by number?
If we come to others, we could eliminate them as well.
And it just be a blanket motion to eliminate incomplete applications?
No, I was not suggesting a blanket. I was suggesting in this pool of applicants with the information that we have, the two incomplete that we clearly see, just take them out of the mix. That was my motion, to remove the two that are incomplete. So, you know, we don't spend any more time discussing them.
Yeah, this is Lee. I'm comfortable with that. Should something else be uncovered, we'll have a separate motion.
Right.
Okay, so by roll call vote, Lee Saperstein,
Aye.
Jean Miller,
Aye.
Maggie Detmer,
Aye.
Beth Howard.
Aye.
Leslie Forbes,
Aye.
Jana Duarte,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella, aye. That passes unanimously. Are there any other suggestions?
So by the next meeting, Christy, will it be Christy or Jana who gets the up-to-date funds from Brian?
I've submitted the email to everybody at the finance department. So as soon as I get that, I'll send that to everybody.
Okay.
So this is Lee. To Christy and Jana. I'm kind of busy tomorrow, but on Thursday or Friday, I'll be checking all my files. And if I find them, I will share my spreadsheet with you. If you want to distribute, that's fine. If I can't find them, I'll once again share the spreadsheet that I have and ask what's missing. I'm hoping to find them and that all will be good.
Okay.
Leslie?
You want me to send draft minutes from July last year and today's meeting to everybody? Is that, do I do that?
So if you send it to Jana, or you can send it to both Jana and myself. Jana, I'll help you set up the agenda for next. We'll have to amend the agenda for next Thursday, and we can put those in there.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
It'll be in the pocket.
So
Jana,
Leslie, this is Lee. Minutes would help us follow this long conversation about who got what.
Jana, can you give us your email, or text? I don't know if you want to give it out over the internet here.
Just
Send it to Christy, and Christy could send it to me.
Okay.
excellent.
This is hard.
It's not
There's no
the same.
I want to be in a room chit-chatting about people.
Eating Maggie's cookies.
True.
So you guys want to stop there for today?
That sounds good.
I don't think there's much more we can do because we have a lot of discussion with names involved to go forward. But I think that we got, a lot of things accomplished off the
Perfect.
table. Mostly that Jen is our new chair.
Um,
You look so excited.
I think Christy's the
So-
excited one.
I'll still help you. I have all the files to do all the letters and everything.
I
so-
still get emails from Erica all the time. She thinks, I'm like, I'm not the chair anymore. I haven't been the chair for 3 years.
Christy, do we have any thank you notes from last year's recipients?
Just the ones that we read in January
That's it.
were the ones that we received.
Okay.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, before we adjourn, just so for next week, we'll amend the agenda, but make sure you have somebody in mind for the Curley Scholarship. And then also just who we would want to fund for next time. And then we'll have to go into an executive session. And then when we go back into public session, just, well, that's when we'll say who we're funding and at what amount. So all that will be public.
And do you think you're sending us a text or an email during the week telling us how much funding we have?
Yes, I am going to start calling Brian Turbot until we get that information. Been waiting patiently for an email back.
I think you have more clout with the town than the rest of us. So
Sure.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
By roll call vote, Lee Saperstein,
Aye, and I'll be hitting my red button in a minute.
Jean Miller,
Aye.
Maggie Detmer,
Aye.
Beth Hallett,
Aye.
Leslie Forbes,
Hi.
Shannon Duarte,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella, aye. Passes unanimously. I will see you guys all next Thursday.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
4
guys.
o'clock? Is it gonna be 4 o'clock?
Nice to meet you, Beth.
Thank you. Nice to meet you
Beth,
too.
Thanks for being here.